Hey, thanks for checking out this episode of Screen Facts with Jason Davis. Every episode, we're going to talk about a movie we like. We'll share some fun trivia along the way. Please like us on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/screenfacts. Post your comments or questions. You can also tweet us at Jason Davis Voice. This podcast is a production of Jason Davis VoiceOver. Please visit jasondavisvoice.com for information about voiceover services for commercials, internet and corporate videos, e-learning, phone messages, and more. Joining me for this episode of the podcast, my good pal, Erik Reitz.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
Good. We're going to talk about, to me, one of the all-time great teen movies.
Yes, I completely agree.
Oh, good. Okay, cool.
All right. It is
Superbad.
Superbad. When we were talking about it, I'm sure you had some curiosity as to what I would think about it because, you know, in general, I have less tolerance for smut than you do. I try to think of myself as more than just dick jokes.
Almost always I can enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
But sometimes you maybe want to have something that's slightly more cerebral in terms of humor.
Yeah. I like to do a bunch of different stuff. You know, I like to see many different things.
Yeah. So Superbad released August 17th, 2007. It's amazing how old this movie is already. Directed by Greg Mottola, written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who actually started writing the script when they were just 13 years old.
Yeah. Which tells you something about the humor.
Yeah, well, exactly. And they said they did it because they just wanted to see if they could write a movie, which I think is awesome for 13-year-old kids to have that kind of initiative.
Right. Seth was interviewed, and he was saying that, yes, they started when they were like 13, and then when he actually got into the business, he was doing a little bit more. At one point, when it looked like this is going to happen and they were starting to test read people from Freaks and Geeks, which is an awesome show. It's only been one season, but you got to watch it.
Absolutely.
A lot of great talent that we do see in this movie, too.
Right.
They were testing these people who now were a little too old.
Right.
And they were getting to the point where, we're getting some heart. And, you know, these older readers were making it feel a little more, you know, touchy-feely. And Seth was like, I had to balance the
dick jokes.
I had to balance the dick jokes with the heart.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think this does balance dick jokes and heart.
I think so, too. And we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
You're talking about people reading for this. Seth actually was going to play sort of himself
right.
in the movie, the part that Jonah Hill plays. But he just kind of aged out of the role. By the time they got it made, he felt like he was too old to play himself.
But what's funny is Jonah is only a year and a half younger.
Right, in real life.
But Jonah definitely looks young.
Yeah, he definitely pulls off 17 very well.
Yeah, I think he kind of had like the pudginess and
Right.
the hair, and I think they just dressed him to...
And just the way he carries himself, too, in the movie.
Yeah.
I got to say, I'm a huge fan of both of those guys, Seth
Right.
Rogen and Jonah Hill, and I can enjoy almost anything one or both of them are in.
Yeah. I've become more of a Jonah Hill fan because of other movies I've watched.
Like the serious stuff that he does, too.
Yeah. Or like
he's a
the
great
Moneyball.
actor.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I was like, wow, he's got more to him than just the stupid teenage stuff.
Yeah, we're talking about the people who star in the movie. So Seth Rogen actually is in the movie,
right?
You know, in a smaller capacity, but very, very funny.
One of the cops.
Yeah, Jonah Hill and Michael Cera are the main characters.
Right.
And of course, you got the great Bill Hader, who he just
fantastic.
elevates anything he's in immediately.
Have you watched, he's got that show Barry?
He's sensational in Barry.
He is. I never really pictured him
He's so good.
like a really dark actor, but holy cow. And he can be scary. Like that face of his.
Oh, absolutely. Another great movie that he did, a serious role. He did a movie with Kristen Wiig called Skeleton Twins.
Really?
Yeah, and the guy who plays one of the fathers on Modern Family, Ty Burrell, I think is the actor's name.
Okay.
He's in it too. Great movie, but it's also a departure from the more comedic stuff that he does, but very good though.
Cool.
And then Joe Latrulio, who plays the guy that takes him to the party.
Oh,
who hits Jonah Hill's character with his car, and he's just real shifty and weird. He's always good too.
He's good at a freak and a twitchy little
very
pervert.
twitchy. He's great on Brooklyn Nine-Nine if you've ever watched that show. He's fantastic. And then it's the film debut of Emma Stone and the introduction of Christopher Mintz-Plasse, who plays Fogel/McLovin.
Yeah. Let's just call him Chris because that's like too long
That's
a
a
name.
little too much.
I saw him. There was that short-lived show with Joe McHale called The Great Indoors, I think. The show is not that great. And we love Joe McHale.
Yeah.
We love him. It's like, I wish somebody could just give him the right vehicle.
Yeah.
So Chris is on the show, and it's like, yeah, okay, didn't think much of him. But then when you see him in this movie, when he was only 17,
Right.
when they were looking for somebody to play Fogel, they wanted someone just like to be a regular guy. They didn't, they were having trouble finding someone that didn't seem like an actor, and he's just got so much.
Yeah, he's been in a couple of really funny movies and a couple of standout parts.
Okay.
He's in Role Models, which is he's fantastic in that too.
Okay.
Very funny movie.
Yeah.
There were a couple of interesting casting things that I read.
Okay.
It's like anytime we talk about a movie on the podcast,
right,
and we talk about the cast, we can't imagine anybody else playing these roles because all the people that are in the roles, they nail it and it's great.
Right.
But I thought there were some interesting people that were considered for some of the other roles and stuff.
Okay.
Jennifer Lawrence was considered for Emma
Jules.
Stone's part of Jules.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, she's
sure,
awesome.
Yeah, she is.
But
yeah. I don't know that she would have brought anything better or different to the role.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to read these kind of things.
Right.
Officer Michaels, which is the role that Seth Rogen plays in the movie, was originally offered to Kyle Gass, who is Jack Black's bandmate in Tenacious D.
Oh,
he's done some other comedic stuff.
Yeah.
And Justin Long, who I love too, he's been in a lot of funny things.
Yeah.
He had a scene in the movie that ended up being cut out, so I'm not really sure if he's just like some sort of an ancillary character.
Yeah.
It just didn't, wasn't necessary for the rest of the movie, so they cut him out.
If you're a Freaks and Geeks fan, you might recognize a couple people from that show.
Yeah, like Martin Starr.
Right. They were just in like one of the party scenes,
exactly.
and that was it.
At the house party, Danny McBride is in the background, who's been in a lot of movies that involve Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
He's just in the background. He doesn't have a speaking part or anything. And I actually never noticed him until I actually was looking for him.
Oh, okay.
When I watched for the podcast,
right?
Because I read that he was in there, and I'm like, oh, there he is.
Okay,
kind of
all right.
Dave Franco has a quick role in this.
The soccer player.
Yeah, James Franco's.
I don't know where the whole you piss in your pants came from.
It's funny because some of the things in this movie that you go, wow, that's outrageous, actually happened in real life to Seth Rogen. We'll talk about that going forward in the podcast. Estimated budget of $20 million, domestic gross of $121.5 million, so a big money maker.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, exactly. Worldwide, it made $170 million. So this was a very successful movie, especially for the kind of movie that it is. It's number 3 on the list of the all-time highest-grossing high school movies. The only movies ahead of it, another Jonah Hill film, 21 Jump Street.
Oh, okay.
And is that really a high school movie?
Yeah,
yes, no,
ish,
sort of. And Spider-Man Homecoming, which, again, I don't know if you can put that in this specific genre, and that's more, for me, of a superhero movie.
Right, to me.
But it does take place in high school, so technically.
Yeah, for me, the teenager movie is more like Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
But this movie did debut number 1 on its first weekend.
That makes sense.
It's like, holy cow.
Yeah. I think this type of movie speaks to a pretty wide audience. I think people who are of this age want to see it, or close to it. People maybe in their mid-20s, or people who grew up loving John Hughes movies, or movies like John Hughes movies. There's a lot of teen movies that John Hughes didn't do that are also good.
Right.
This, of course, is one of them.
Right.
But I'm sure that a lot of the inspiration for the humor and the pacing and everything else in this movie does come from Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg being fans of John Hughes movies growing up.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they're of an age where they certainly could have appreciated that stuff.
Yeah, and we started talking a little bit about just how raunchy it was. It reminded me a lot of the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yes.
Where
it's the same kind of team.
Yeah.
Involved.
But it's like the first half hour or so, it's just filth, funny, but really, really filthy.
Right.
But then when you finally start seeing, the girl comes in and you start building relationships, even though the F-bomb was dropped like 186 times or something like that.
In this movie?
Yeah, in this movie.
186 times.
Not bad.
That's about 1.5 times per minute when you average it out. And by the way, 84 are said by Jonah Hill.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. There is heart to this. And that's what I like this movie. I ended up liking the movie a whole lot because as they're building up the relationships, and it's and it hit home for me because, it's about the awkward senior year in high school. It's when you're talking about we're going to college.
Right.
The two best friends, they're going to 2 different colleges,
right.
and there's some deep-seated anger and jealousy that comes up. So there's some real heart-to-heart stuff that's in real life. I went away to college, and it wasn't until the night before when I kind of hit me on the head that, oh shit, I'm leaving my girlfriend. Oh shit, my best friends, I'm not going to see them, you know? And because you're a teenager, you don't think about that.
Yeah.
You don't think of the future.
Talk about heart. Even the way they approach how they want to like hook up with the girls and stuff.
Right.
Jonah Hill's character.
Well, Jonah Hill's he's kind of a pig.
Well, I think he's probably similar to, I hate to say it, a lot of teenage boys.
Absolutely.
We all had friends that talk like that
sure.
or acted like that. At the end of the day, he probably isn't really as much of a pig as he's, kind of the talk that he does. Especially the scene later on in the movie where he's drunk and he's talking to Jules and he thinks he's going to get with her.
Right.
And then she's like, I do like you, but not when you're drunk. And he's like, oh, I blew it,
Yeah. And that just shows a whole lot because he ends up saying, well, look at you and look at me. I mean, you would have to be drunk to be with me.
Right.
Really. That was wonderful. Yeah. And the whole fact that Evan, he could have had Becca. She was
ready to go all in.
She was all, well, she wanted him to go all in. But
literally.
Anyway, but, and what a cute little like drunk striptease thing she did that was so adorable.
I got to say something. Every time we watch the movie, I comment, and Sue last night was laughing at me because she was waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
That scene is it's a little disturbing for me.
Oh.
Not in a bad, not like, my virgin eyes or something. No, it's
no, not for you.
I find a sloppily drunk woman or girl throwing themselves like that to be such a turnoff.
Right.
Like it's so disturbing and like kind of gross in a way.
See, yes. Now I'm looking at it, and like she's cute and everything and all that. But yes, once they start getting, and she's like all ready to go.
Yeah,
he's very cool about it. He's like, no, I want you.
Well, because he's not like that.
There.
He's a little modest, and I relate to that because when I was his age or younger, like I was completely intimidated by girls and sex and all that. Like I was terrified of that.
Yeah, me too.
Because you don't want to be the guy that like the rumor starts getting spread. Oh, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
That was a good scene. That again, there's some heart there.
Right.
This is not like a Porky's.
Right, exactly. Porky's is just like, let's bone and,
Right, yeah.
But even that movie has some heart, too.
A little bit, but...
I don't want to get sidetracked, but, like all the stuff with the racism and anti-Semitism and all that kind of stuff in Porky's.
Yeah.
They address that in a cool way. But
they do.
When Jonah Hill and Seth is carrying Evan, to help him get away from the cops.
Right.
They really had each other's backs that much,
Well, and the fact that he did that for him right after they had this big fight where Evan basically says to him, well, you've kept me down all these years.
Right.
But also Seth is being very selfish, saying, well, why are you going away to college? We were supposed to go together.
Yeah, and he's jealous that he's going to be boarding with Fogel and stuff.
Right, yeah. And it's like, well, yeah, you're being a jerk for being so jealous. I mean, you should be happy. If we're real friends, you'd be happy for me.
Right.
And eventually it comes around that way. I mean, they almost lost their friendship.
Yeah. When he stays over Evan's house and they're sleeping in the sleeping bags and stuff, and they're both kind of drunk there, and they're opening up their hearts to each other. I thought that was a great scene.
That was.
I love you. I love my best friend, and I want to go on the rooftop and shout it out. I love that scene because it gives teenagers the permission to actually do that.
It gives men the permission.
Exactly. But I think teenagers who I guess for the most part this movie is geared toward. But here we are,
50-year-olds.
50s. I love this movie. But anyway, but we've all been there. That's the point. In our society, sometimes men are not encouraged to express how much they care for each other, and it's a weakness, or it's quote unquote gay.
Exactly,
which is ridiculous.
And as you get older, it's not an issue. I think it's harder and harder though for men to become closer and to say that. So I'm going to say,
I feel like we have a kind of the friendship where we express how much we appreciate each other.
I love you, Jason.
I love you too, Eric.
See, and we can say that. Wait, let me boop your nose.
And we don't have, exactly. And we don't have to go no homo afterwards.
No homo. Which really? Is that a thing?
It was for a while.
Really?
I don't know if it is anymore. But yeah, so I like that they put that in a movie like this where it is a lot of dick jokes and stuff.
Right.
And they put a real moment like that in it.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering.
My favorite part, though, in that scene, they're all huggy and I love you and everything else.
Right.
And then they fall asleep. And then they show the next morning the empty plate of pizza bagels. They wake up and Jonah Hill's character, Seth sits up and he's got a look on his face like, what the fuck did I do last night and say and everything else?
Yeah. It's like it's the morning after.
And then it's all awkward and stuff.
Yeah. I was like,
it's so
my
funny.
God, that is hilarious. It's like all they did was profess their love for each other.
But it's like two lovers that hooked up.
Yeah. Just for the night. And
right.
like,
and they wake up and they do the walk of shame.
Right. It's like I just picked this coyote up at a bar or whatever.
Exactly.
It's like,
so funny.
It's painful to watch. I mean, they did it so well. And Mike Cera.
There's always funny and awkwardness, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But Mike Cera is so good. Like, if you watch him on Arrested Development, he is like the best at the deadpan, confused, just look.
Yeah.
Just like, what's happening? He's so good at that.
Yeah.
And I read some commentary where they would run the camera on him and he would just be deadpan and looking confused. He would run it for a couple minutes and they finally just... So if you watch Arrested Development, you see more of that. And,
he's definitely really good at that.
We've been talking about dick jokes. The dick drawings.
Yes.
Okay. Brilliant.
Amazing.
Some of them
so funny.
Like, the Dickosaurus. And I like the one with the bunch of penises of the Iwo Jima, raising the flag, the Marines, and it's brilliant stuff. Apparently there's a book that you can get with all those illustrations.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, I read that Evan Goldberg's brother drew all that stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's actually in the credits too, but his brother David did all of them.
And he's a lawyer.
Oh my God!
I don't know. Maybe he sits in court and when he's bored, he's just drawing.
And he drew like close to 1,000. I mean, only a bunch were in the movie.
There was a lot in the movie.
Yeah, and then in the credits too, right? Weren't there a bunch in the
did
credits?
They have in credits?
I think so.
Yeah, I like even the credits, like the way. Well, now here's the thing: when the movie first starts with the credits, it's Mike Cera dancing.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too.
Yeah,
right from the get-go, like that 70s vibe with the funk and even the Columbia Pictures 70s logo and the dancing, almost like a James Bond or blaxploitation sort of movie.
Exactly, and that's the thing. I thought that I'm watching a throwback to the 70s movie, and then they open and Seth is driving that car.
Right.
I'm like, all right, so maybe this is an early 80s movie.
Right.
And then he pulls out the cell phone.
Right.
And then I was confused.
Yeah.
But Cera, he danced for an hour.
Oh, my God.
Because what they thought they might take his dancing and use that in the DVD.
Like the menus?
In the menu, so that, and there's always a loop.
Right.
That lasts like a minute or two.
Right.
He thought it would be hilarious if it was an actual hour, and would people actually sit there
for the menu
and wait for the watching the menu, wait for a loop. But the production, they were like, no, this is really good, and that's when they turned it into just the outline of him dancing, and then they got Jonah to do the other dancing, just made it. That's really neat. But I was like, why are they really pushing this to look like 70s? But
everything about
not.
The movie too had a very 70s or 80s vibe to it, like the party, the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack, all the cool funk R&B kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, the party. And Seth dancing with
the period
girl. Oh my gosh.
P.S. I saw an interview with Seth Rogen talking about this movie. It was it was an interview on YouTube. You could look it up. It's a GQ channel.
Okay.
They do different actors breaking down their most iconic roles, and he talks about like all of his stuff, but he talks about this movie in pretty good length.
Okay.
And he said that really happened. Not exactly like that. They were in gym class. And somebody ended up with a period stain on their leg somehow.
Oh, how embarrassing.
So that really happened. And then he said that, not in this interview, but on the DVD commentary, when Evan's describing to Becca, like all the things that he was doing, like when he went to the nightclub and they were chillaxing and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
That
had
actually...
some drinks.
Yeah, we had some drinks and we were talking with adults and blah, blah, blah.
Right, with adults.
Right.
Meanwhile, they're showing them like totally pissing off the adults.
Yeah, exactly. But he said that he, Evan, and their friend Sam Fogel actually did that in high school. Like that stuff really happened like that.
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's father is in this movie.
Yes.
Seth Rogen's dad.
Yeah, the scene where they're running from the cops and they go through the backyard and he trips over the tent with the girls in it.
Little kids in the tent.
And they go over the fence and then the father comes out and throws the baseball bat. That's Seth Rogen's actual dad, Mark.
That's funny as hell.
Very funny. Boy, talk about a guy taking a beating. Seth takes a beating in this movie. He gets hit by a car twice.
That's right. Oh,
he gets spat upon.
Yes.
He gets the baseball bat.
Yep. He gets bled on.
Oh my God. What a day this guy's having.
It's great. It's great.
It's awesome.
I like when the cops hit him. And then they're arguing with us. Well, you should go out and look. No, you were driving. You should go out and look. No. All right, let's both get out. And Rogen says, again. They hit a guy again. I loved it.
Pretend he's your little sister.
McLovin, his love scene.
Yes, he was 17 at the time.
Right.
So they had to be real careful with that.
So the mom had to be there. And, he was interviewed and he said, well, yeah, it wasn't too bad because it's a movie set. So it's not like it's just me and the girl. And
right, exactly.
There's a whole bunch of people. And he said, and now like my mom and I, when we watched the movie, it wasn't uncomfortable.
Right.
Because she, and actually
nothing's
really,
going on.
And really the scene, it's more funny and kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Because, the girl's there and she's into it and he's into it. I love the line when they got the camera pointed at his face and he's like, I think it's in.
He has a couple of great lines.
Oh my God. And then the cops come in.
And like when she's sucking on his finger, he's like,
gosh, yes.
I have a boner.
I have a boner. It's like, all right, well, that is a compliment to her.
Yeah.
So
sure.
there you go. But then, of course, the cops come in.
Yeah.
And she goes running out.
Yeah.
And they're like,
because they think he's 25.
Right. Yeah.
And he's having sex with an underage
girl.
Yeah.
Well, then we actually find out that they say to him, well, we're sorry we cock-blocked you.
Yeah.
But no, then the cops tell him that we know you're underage.
Right.
But we just wanted to show you that cops can be cool too. And I mean, I wouldn't say those cops were cool. They were a menace. I mean, they're out there driving super fast. They're going through, they see a stop sign. They throw on their lights so they can just go through the stop sign. They're doing friggin' donuts in a parking lot, smashing up the car. Panama, yes.
Great use of Panama.
Great, yes, absolutely. And then they give him paperwork.
It's hilarious, though.
Of course,
I mean,
it's
obviously,
hilarious.
cops don't do that kind of stuff. Hopefully,
yeah.
When they set the car on fire, they make up this whole story, and they set the car on fire, and he goes, Fogel goes, "Can we shoot at it?" Yeah. And he goes, "I don't know. Can you?"
That was awesome. Gives him the gun.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he takes.
You better break yourself.
Yeah. And I love, and it's just how McLovin.
He's such a wannabe.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything he does, like the first moment you see him walking into. Right. Yeah. Dude, you are like whiter than white.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Stop it.
Say what you want about the character of Fogel. You know, he's awkward, he's a dork, he's whatever.
Right.
He's the only one who gets laid.
That's true.
Which is the whole goal that they have for the whole movie.
Yeah. The scene early on when they're trying to get liquor, so Seth is going into the liquor store and he's got Jules' $100, thinking, how the heck am I going to get this alcohol? And he's looking, and there's like the old lady. Then he imagines like she drops her purse. He picks up the purse and she says,
"Would you like me to buy alcohol for you?"
And he's like, "Well, thank you.
That would be lovely.
Lovely, right?
Enjoy your remaining days." And she goes, "Enjoy fucking Jules."
Oh, that's right. Enjoy fucking. I love some of the awkward stuff in the high school. Yeah. When is it Becca that gets punched in the boob?
Yes. That's a very funny scene. Yeah, so they're talking
and Evan
and he goes to like give her like a little punch on the arm, like
on the shoulder,
yeah, like a hey pal.
Right.
And somebody walks by and hits his arm and he punches her right in the boob.
That was great. Yeah. And her face.
I wonder how many takes it took to get it right though. To time it right and
yeah.
Very funny though.
And for her face, I mean,
he's so awkward. The character is so awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, the first time we see her, the two of them, they're in class, and he's, looking behind him, staring at her, and he's staring at her boobs.
Right.
And it's funny because that shirt she's wearing, the girlfriend I had in high school sometimes wore similar shirts.
Okay.
And they were delightful. and so it's like, you're looking at the boobage, and then they pan back to him. And then they pan back to her, and she's like looking at him.
She catches him.
She catches him.
And you're watching him, and you're looking way too long. You got to be a little more subtle than that, dude.
Yeah, you can't leer, which, that's another shortcoming of many of us, right? And but she's not like horrified.
Well, because she's into him, too,
right? And I'm thinking,
which we find out later.
Damn it! What is his problem? Because after they leave class and she catches up with him, and he's just like hey, with the pen and and then
and she's trying to give him hints like, I'd love to do that kind of stuff,
right?
Like ask
that
me
sounds
out
like
kind
fun,
of thing,
right? And it's like,
and he doesn't get it. Clearly, he's clueless,
and he walks away. I'm like, oh my god!
But that's all part of his awkwardness, his wonderful awkwardness.
And you know what? A lot of us are probably. That or were like that.
Believe me, when I was a teenager, there were guys that did very well with girls in high school and maybe later on and stuff. Yeah. I was not one of those guys.
No, me neither. No, and it's funny because I always fantasized about how would I react if I actually, get with the girl and I'm at her house, and what if she, offers me a drink? Do I say, yeah, I want a beer? Do I want a drink? Or do I just want what? It's like, how would I be? And I had, no idea. And then, my first real girlfriend in high school, there was none of that kind of weirdness. We had a wonderful, great relationship. In college, that's when some of that really weird stuff for me started happening. Because my roommate be come back from, a party or whatever, and he's like, Stark, why didn't you go home with her? When this and that? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, she was so into you.
She wanted it.
Yeah,
she wants it, Spaz.
Well, see. And meatballs. Yes, there you go. I was like, really? I was a dope.
I think subconsciously we're all a little intimidated by sex and the opposite sex and all that kind of stuff when we're younger. Obviously, the more experience you get, maybe you're more comfortable and you're able to pick up on the signs more often and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's why I think this movie holds up so well and is so relatable. Mm-hmm. We can all appreciate the dick jokes as guys, right?
Right.
But I think getting back to the discussion of like how the movie has heart, I think there's at least one character that all of us can relate to in this movie.
Yeah.
I relate more to Evan, unfortunately. That awkward, kind of intimidated by the idea of getting with a girl and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was totally an Evan. Absolutely.
Yeah. We all knew somebody like Seth, too.
Yeah.
And whether or not they actually scored or they just were a lot of talk, probably just a lot of talk.
Yeah, and I think the characters I can identify with, similar to like The Breakfast Club, not as blatant. I think, The Breakfast Club really made a very clear separation of all these different people.
Right, exactly.
This was really a story of a few friends and what they went through. What they went through. Yeah, I definitely put this movie between just below The Breakfast Club, but way above Porky's when it comes to a mixture of vulgarity and heart, and actually, some realistic.
When was the last time you saw Porky's, though?
A long time.
Yeah, that might be worth revisiting. In fact, maybe we should do a podcast about Porky's.
All right, yeah.
Because I think there's a lot more heart in Porky's than you realize.
Really?
It's been a while since you've seen it.
Yeah, it has been.
You also got to remember the time frame that each of these movies takes place in.
Oh, yeah.
Porky's is the 50s. You know, that's a time that we don't even understand, probably.
Right.
Compared to this.
I don't. And I think, things were more raw in the 50s.
Absolutely. Teenagers trying to get laid has been a theme that's been going on for a long time, let's face it.
Yeah, at least a couple hundred years.
At least.
Yeah.
This movie is really well done. Great cast, well executed, great writing, funny, a lot of heart, and definitely one that I can watch over and over again and enjoy it every time.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Screen Facts with Jason Davis is a production of Jason Davis VoiceOver. Please visit jasondavisvoice.com if you need a voice for a commercial, internet and corporate video, e-learning, phone message, and more. Please like the Screen Facts Facebook page, facebook.com/ScreenFacts. You can also tweet at Jason Davis Voice. Thanks for listening.
McLovin! Nice!